YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am back in Total War Warhammer 2. And yes, we're going to continue the GOR-ROK campaign. We are in the midst of the Ritual of Deliberation, working our way towards the final ritual. Now, Naggarond is pretty close to the end of their ritual, and I do believe that they resecured the provinces that they need. And they also have the Sword of Cain. If I call a desperate intervention at the moment, I'm not sure how well it's going to fly. I think if they get to the final battle, I get a chance to fight them. But I'm going to wait a little, like maybe another turn or two, and then I'll send the intervention after them. If I send the intervention and it's successful, I don't want them to have time to recover after I send the intervention. That's the objective I'm working towards now. Anyway, I'm set up to end this turn. We'll go into the next few turns. If there's some action, I'll bring it to you. If not, I'm gonna sling on through these turn ends because we're kind of just waiting for the ritual to end. So here we go. We do have some skill points though that I forgot about. We'll take care of. Patchy is gaining quite a few skill points. We can open up regrowth here as well. This will be very important for his army. There's some big bad units here that could really benefit from that life magic. Let's see if there's any of these. Slaying Mage Priest. Nah, none of these are useful to me right now. None of the rights are. Here we go. Alright, well, Chaos is gonna suicide themselves onto Patchy, and, you know, that's actually, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. Ain't got no problems. I don't think they're gonna kill any of my units off. They did! That was very kind of them. Well, I have another Blessed Saurus Warrior. That's actually a little bit ridiculous that any of my stuff died there, especially when you look at their kill count, but whatever, that's auto-resolve for us. I don't know what I expect at this point, other than the auto-resolve to be very cheaty. In any case, there we go. We fixed the problem. We're re-recruiting some units in here, so should have Patchy's army all back up to snuff where we need it. Let's put another point into regrowth. We're getting close to having Arcane Conduit, or Greater Arcane Conduit, I think, even. We've destroyed the Vessels of Chaos, so there's going to be very little going on here other than just the opportunity for me to continue to build every building that I can build, which is appropriate. That's what we need to be doing to make our empire utterly and completely dominant. Pretty sure we're mostly there already. Great Turtle Isles can finally be upgraded. That's good news. Alright, same thing here. Croak has skill points that we can't spend because of the mods that I'm using. And I think Virakara has a skill point. Let's see where we want to spend this. He's got his cold one. Let's just finish Proud Warrior. Kind of makes the most sense there for now, I think. His troops replenish quite a bit slower than the troops of GOR-ROK, because GOR-ROK has Croak and other things at his help. We'll be completely replenished here. Let's head back into a standard stance. Here we go. Well, folks, it's a couple turns later, and I have a fun one here for you. Alastair, the White Lion, apparently thinks that he can take me out, and the auto-resolve believes it too. Now, I would pose a question to the auto-resolve, and here is that question. If GOR-ROK defeated 15 Star Dragons, what makes them think that this is going to succeed? Fair question. Let's go find out. Well, Alastair the White Lion, you've actually seen him recently in one of my battles. He didn't fare so well in that battle. He got taken down by a combination of Chaos and Norska. This time he's fighting against those who were allied with him in that battle, and it's going to be Croak and GOR-ROK and the Shredder of Lustria. So we'll see how he likes being in the fight with what were his allies in a recent battle video on my channel. You can see that the High Elves have considerable missile strength. Just little good it will do them. They're not going to have enough to finish the job at any given time. I'm using Croak's shield, and I'm also using the Legion of Chakwa here to help protect my units. So they can get off their first few volleys, they can even cause some damage. It won't be enough. Once my forces attack, it will be an unrelenting wave of destruction. Look at this, all of the work they pour into trying to kill the Shredder, but he's 44% missile resistant, so GG. Anyway, Alastair comes down, He wants a piece of Krok, but immediately gets met by the Thunderous One and the Legion of Chakra and the Shredder. So he's bitten off more than he can chew very quickly on his Star Dragon, and he will wish that he hadn't been there. Now, Krok is already getting things started up early. It's moving into battle, getting a fight going, and there's a very nice blob of Phoenix Guard here, who are a perfect unit for Deliverance of Itza, because it's magic damage and it armor pierces, and Phoenix Guard are not going to like any of that, and so just an absolutely massive explosion ripping through the key infantry for the High Elves, and then in the back my Chameleon Skinks are up here unleashing volley after poison volley into these Lothern Sea Guard, whose shields cannot possibly protect them enough from what they're up against. Alastair, rather than fight, decides to run, and my Pterodon Riders will escort him into destruction for his cowardice. And then there was one more blob of infantry over here that was able to garner Krok's attention. And after having defeated a Phoenix unit, the Shredder is back, looking for more High Elf victims. You can see just how utterly overmatched the High Elves are in these fights. They just do not have an answer to Krok. They can't hurt him with their missiles. He's got too much protection from the Legion of Chakra, his abilities, his shield. It's just not going to happen. And so they really have no answer to this army. Even if they could stand and fight with their infantry, they would probably lose head-on to my infantry, because they have so many upgrades at this point. I mean, this is some disgusting numbers on my infantry, but yeah. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this battle. Alright, folks, I think there's one very simple question here after the battle. White Lion or White Lizard? I think we know which of those two things is greater. That's kind of what I thought. Anyway, I'm going to keep burning through these turns till we get to the end of the ritual, and we will see what else comes about. It's a time of desperation for the High Elves. Princess Minlui Akar was given a force in haste and told to go reconquer Val's Anvil. And on the ashen plains outside the settlement, she met up with GOR-ROK. None of her compatriots able to stop GOR-ROK in any way, shape, or form. And she is given the task with an army of merely spearmen. And albeit probably the coolest looking spearmen in the game, but, you know, best looking isn't going to be winning you any battles against GOR-ROK's army. And once again, there is some pretty serious archer contingent in place, as well as range for the High Elves, and they will begin unleashing it en masse towards my army. But the missile resistance, the shields, again, the abilities will make it to where this really just won't be that effective. Whereas in certain situations, a High Elf army like this could obviously cause tremendous damage and potentially even kill monstrous units before the battle is even engaged. But let's take a look. Shredder of Lustria definitely taking some damage, but the Sisters of Avalorn and the Shadow Warriors here just will not have enough to take him out of commission. And as soon as these infantry lines are engaged, things will begin to fall apart very quickly for the High Elves. Very, very quickly. Shredder of Lustria living up to his name, shredding straight through Minlui's forces, Minlui Akar. You see Krok coming up, unleashing his undead dislike. Check out the Sun Dragon here, very cool looking. You know, man, this game is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Got the Thunderous One making its way in, and as is typical, the infantry line engages, and my Saurus warriors just absolutely beast mode. And then with the support of Krok, the enemy infantry just can't stand. It won't happen. And then GOR-ROK, of course, comes in and racks up everybody's armor, defense, and other stats, and just makes the army that much more unkillable. I've also got my Horned Ones in this fight, helping to chop up some Dragon Princes, with all their armor-piercing, nice melee capabilities. And then the Phoenix Guard over here, taking on some of my Temple Guard and Legion of Chakra, I believe, that's on this flank. Tough units indeed, but the Star Chamber Guardians are plowing through, and they're going to turn around and hit that Phoenix Guard in the back. And since that is a unit with physical resistance, It will make this Phoenix Guard very weak to the Star Chamber Guardians. So their magical attacks very well suited to this fight. Only the best Saurus warriors in this army, only the best. You can see that there's really no hope here for the High Elves, and to add injury to insult, Croak is going to send these Phoenix Guardsmen on their way, even when they were already fleeing. Game over. Alright folks, it is several turns later. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and call up a desperate intervention on Nagaron. We certainly have the money for it. Let's see if our intervention army... Oh, of course, they put it right in front of an extremely well-guarded city, plus another army right behind. Well, Nagaron doesn't have many settlements, and so their economic cheats are allowing them to maintain at least 2 full armies here, and neither one of these is Malekith. So the sword's over here, and it's probably Malekith. So we're talking like three full armies, maybe more, with just these small settlements. So I don't know, I find that a little bit entertaining, but whatever. We won't be able to stop their thing, but as far as Lothern goes, they have begun a ritual, and one of the ritual sites is the Shrine of Assyrian. We can just go knock out that shrine, and it's not going to happen for 20 turns. I've got plenty of time. You can see, though, that Lothern continues to try and push me with their armies, and it's like they just haven't learned the lesson here, that they are inferior in just about every way imaginable. This is definitely a balance of power that would favor me, but if I auto-resolve, I'd probably lose like half my army. So we're going to continue to fight these battles and continually prove GOR-ROK's dominance over the High Elves. Well, I guess the High Elves need to learn that they're just food. They're just food or training dummies, like however they want to look at it here. They're so far out of their league that it's kind of sad almost. I like the High Elves under normal conditions, but in this campaign, obviously, I'm more on the Lizard side. I set an ambush back up here with Virakara as well. See if we could lure in Rodar. They had an army that was kind of hanging about out to sea as well, so we'll see whether or not it decides to turn around. GOR-ROK has a skill point that we can spend. There's really not all that much left that I can spend it on. I don't think leadership is really going to do him a whole lot of good. Ancient Cunning and Lightning Strikes. I'll throw Lightning Strike on here, and then if I get anything else, I guess Ancient Cunning. We know that that's for Croak, and I'm going to take a look at the building situation, which, you know, again, this is just me just topping everything out. There's not even really that much of a strategy, because we're kind of beyond that point of the campaign, right? Yeah, I mean, we're definitely kind of beyond that part of the campaign where we have to be very concerned. Or, whoops, sorry, not that one. With the very specific way that we're building a settlement. You can do that. You can maximize profit even more, and it's pretty fun just to see what you can pull off. But no big deal for me here. Well, during the turn in, my intervention was destroyed, and I can't say that that's a big surprise. But in more of a surprise, this rogue army here went full suicidal and declared war on me, I believe. Raiding Forbidden Jungle, war declared. I mean, yeah, wow. They apparently don't wish to have life anymore. We do have some some raiding armies standing about in different places, but you know, I'll move John Hammond this way so that we can get rid of these guys here. I'm not terribly worried about anything going on here. Just Pardek is up here. I might move an army. Yeah, I'll move Patchy up here to the altar, and if he sticks around, I'll try and engage him, even if it's out to sea. So I think we're good there for now. Not a whole lot else to be worried about, but check out the turn end over here. This High Elf army didn't come towards Lothern, even though the walls were damaged at Lothern and looked like they may fall prey to an ambush. They didn't. I'm just going to head them off this way, and then another army came ashore over here and is suffering attrition already because there was a storm, I think, or something to that end. So I'm going to come out of the ambush stance and attack these guys. They'll probably flee, but if not... No, they did not, and it thinks they're going to win. It's another one of those ones that's incredible. Like, where is the auto-resolve getting this from? No magic. Nothing to stop the monsters. I mean, it's incredible to me where these auto-resolves come from. I truly do not understand it. Torrendil, the High Elf Prince, had been making gains with his army in the desert, the Southlands, pushing against Hexaudal's territories where he had merged with other lizard factions, including Tic-Tac-Toe and Krok-Gar. And he was having some success until a messenger approached his camp and told them that Othwan was under siege and that he was to be immediately recalled to defend it. He sailed across the sea hastily, running into a storm even, his men heaving their lunch over the side of the boat continually, and no amount of scrubbing could clean all of the vomit that was induced from the storm, and they were still suffering from the sickness when they came ashore in Othwan and found themselves being attacked by Virakara, the Scar veteran, the Saurus Oldblood, and his Scar veteran, Quanta. Their missiles were positioned and putting themselves in a position to defend their homelands, or retake it, I guess at this point, because it had already been taken. And they found themselves up against a pretty elite foe. As we see here, the Dread Saurians are here. Lustrious finest. Brought for the enjoyment. I mean, just look. Carnosaur here for size comparison and also unit clipping. CA, please. Blessed Saurus warriors up front. See Quantu there. And then Virakara should be nearby. Yep, here he is on his old one. He's not quite gotten his Saurus mount. On the flanks, we're going to have some fun. A little fiery fun. My two ancient salamanders are being supported by a Cold One Spear Rider, and they're going to work themselves into position to get some nice flank shots off. They're going to start off by putting a couple of shots on the Frostheart Phoenix, which puts it in motion. He doesn't really want to sit there and get shot for too terribly long, but it's really these blocky infantry units that desire the attention of my ancient salamanders, and they will give it to them shortly. Now you see that I unleashed a chain lightning early on in this, which definitely went right through the bunch of swordmasters and archers and disrupted their lines. And in order to counter-disrupt here, some brave High Elf cavalry makes a charge, but is immediately shut down by a feral Saurian. And then the ancient salamanders find their true target here and nearly annihilate a unit of Lothern Sea Guard in a single volley. And the Curse of the Midnight Wind is demoralizing and basically taking away the ability for the High Elf infantry to fight in the middle. Dragon Princes put up a valiant charge here, but now they're up against Temple Guards, and they really have nowhere to go. The Frostheart Phoenix attempts to kill my Skink Priest in the air, but the Skink Priest is able to dive into the cover of its Temple Guardsmen. And the rout is on, folks. The rout is on. Very little left for the High Elves at this point, and just adding some flaming pain to the shot here. My ancient salamanders really enjoying getting to hack up some fiery fur balls. Of course, we know there's no fur, there's lizards. You know, it's just kind of imagine it as, I don't know why, like almost like a giant cat yakking fire onto an enemy. It's just kind of a funny picture for me. But yeah, there you go. There you go. So complete lizard dominance again, and this isn't even GOR-ROK's army. RIP. How many more armies before the High Elves learn their place? How about that auto-resolve, folks? It's right on the money every time. Now we're taking attrition because of the storm over here. Let's finish these guys off. Yeah, that's more like it. That's a little more like it. Yeah, so we'll take some attrition by the storm. As long as another army doesn't move in on us, we should be good. We'll get back into our... Actually, we may be able to make it. Yep, we can make it back into the settlement. Begin replenishing. Divvy out some skill points here. Let's go to rally. Put some special points in our troops. Quantu. Scarred veteran. Immortality. Don't mind if I do. Oh, he's got another one. He ain't done yet. 5% ward save. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Take all that we can get there. Our little skink. Oh man, our skink is getting pretty decked out, actually. It's pretty nice to see. Let's give him this arcane vassal. Never hurts to have a fireball up your sleeve, does it? GOR-ROK can't move for this turn, but we're getting close. Like I said, the end of the ritual's 1 turn. Nagaron's 2 turns away, so we'll deal with them on the next episode. But let's finish the ritual while we're here tonight. Should be an appropriate finish to the episode. Get you a nice little cinematic in here as well. And let's see, Kalidor. It's another one we've been trying to build up here. It's been slow going, but it'll get there. I like how Rodar runs away to Kalidor's repose. He's like, I'm so tough. I'll fight. No, I don't really want to fight you. I'm going to go fight this little settlement over here. I'm so tough. All right, folks, that'll do it for this episode. Sure, mount the expedition. Why not? Anyway, that'll do it for this episode. You can see we're going to have more fights with the High Elves. They've brought another army up with Alariel. So I guess Alariel is next in line. After GOR-ROK goes and gives Rodar a beatdown. I don't know if we can catch him on this turn. We'll see. Virakara beat down yet another army over here. In fact, I'm going to come out here again and just kind of go into an ambush stance. Just see if we can lure in another High Elf army. What was that? That was 3 on this episode, plus everything we've beaten before. And then look, they've got 3 more right here. I've seen multiple of their armies out and about overseas as well. So it's like we just can't kill enough of their armies. But that's okay. It's part of the fun, right? We like battles. This is Total War. We like battles. I will see you all in the next episode. HeirofCarthage signing out.